We are watching a series of videos on data visualization using Tableau. In our last session, we discussed about the scatter plot. Scatter plot, we said, is unique in the sense that this is the plot that provides the relationship between two measures. A variation of the scatter plot is called a bubble chart. Now, when we did this scatter plot for sales and profit, broken down by order, each of these dots or small circles were put at the same size. Now, we all know that size can be used for the purpose of depicting a measure. So if we release this size of the scatter plot to depict a particular measure, that will become a bubble chart. In other words, a bubble chart is a scatter plot where the size of the dot, which is now becoming a bubble, indicates some other measure. So let us see how we can use a bubble chart to depict some insights. Now, in order to depict sales and profit in a bubble chart, probably it will not be that relevant to depict it order-wise, because if I put it order-wise, the size of the bubble can become very make the chart very crowded. So we need to take some other dimension which is less in number that will adequately depict the sales and the profit in the form of a bubble chart. We also need to find out that what will be the third measure that we want to take up. We have discount, we have quantity, but probably a more relevant measure to show in the form of a size of a bubble will be profit percentage. Now, till now, we have been working on only profit, but we know that profit percentage is a very important measure. A particular category or a subcategory may have a high profit just because the sales is high, but a profit percentage will really indicate whether the product is profitable or not. But we have a problem here. We don't have any measure called profit percentage. Now, this is where we are going to introduce a new feature in Tableau called calculated field. Calculated field is a feature where you can use different statements which look similar to SQL, structured query language, through which you can create different fields. So there are various ways by which we can create a calculated field. One is from here. So if we want to create a calculated field based on profit, we can go over here and we can create a calculated field from here. See here, you can create a calculated field from here. Alternatively, we can create a calculated field from here as well. And we can also create a calculated field from here, from the analysis. So there are various places from where we can create a calculated field. The differences are minor. For example, if we create a calculated field from profit from here, profit will be defaulted in the formula. Otherwise, there is no big difference between the three methods of creating, three routes of creating calculated field. So let us create a calculated field of profit percent. Profit has been defaulted over here. Profit percentage is profit divided by sales. We'll put it over here. As of now, we'll put this formula. We are not sure whether this formula is correct or not. Now, the formula is correct from a syntax point of view. Syntactically is correct. That's what is saying calculation is valid. But That doesn't mean that the formula will be correct from a business or a mathematical perspective. Okay, it's just syntactically correct. We'll see if the formula is correct or not. We need to judge that once the chart is being made. But as of now, let's proceed with this. So this is our calculated field profit percentage. We want to show this as a percentage. So we will have the properties over here, the number format, and a number format we want in percentage. Okay. So let us now create a bubble chart, which is a modified scatter plot where we'll show sales and profit by subcategory. This time not order ID, where the size of the bubble will indicate the profit percentage of that subcategory. We chose a subcategory and not order because if we choose order and we create a bubble chart, the chart may become too crowded. At the same time, we should not choose something where the number of values in the category is very less, in the dimension is very less. For example, category has only 3 values, technology, office supplies, and furniture in our data set. So if we take a bubble chart for categories, this chart may not be very interesting. So we have to balance between these. Technically, you can take any dimension and do a bubble chart on that, but you need to figure out what will make the chart interesting. So if you take a category a dimension that has too many values, it may become very crowded. If we take a dimension that is too less values, it will become very boring. So we took the middle path, we took the subcategory. Sorry, we'll take the sales and the profit first. Like last time also, we have 1 point at this point of time because it has not been broken down by by the dimension. And this time we are taking the dimension to be the subcategory. So we put the subcategory as color. Uh, Also, we put the subcategory in the detail. So subcategory, the dots shows the color show the subcategory, and also the bubble has been broken down by subcategory. And let us put the label. Let us put subcategory in the label as well, because we want to do away with this legend over here, because that's taking up too much of space, and we'll take this as the enter view. So we have now a map of sales by profit broken down by subcategories, and the subcategories are colored. Now we can see here that tables, which we know is not generating any profit, so it's on the negative side. We know copiers and phones are having high profit, so it's in the positive side. So more or less, it seems that the chart has been mapped correctly. Now the question of size. We said that the size of the bubble will be depicting the profit percentage. So now we'll take the profit percentage into the size of the bubble. So we have the size of the bubble showing the profit percentage. We don't need the legend over here. We know bigger is higher profit percentage. Now we need to do certain modifications and observe certain values over here. First is, let us make this shape full circle and maybe increase the size a little bit so that it's more visible. Now, just to figure out whether we have done the profit percentage calculation correct or not, remember we said that it is it was syntactically correct, but that doesn't mean that it will be correct from business or a mathematical perspective. Let us put profit percentage in the label as well, so that we want to see what is the actual value of the profit percentage that is being considered over here. Now, definitely, prima facie, you can see something wrong with the profit percentage, because profit percentage cannot be 58,307%. Okay, it's too high. So where is the problem? The problem is that the profit percentage is being aggregated as a sum. So there are, in the data set, there are line items, each line item showing profit of profit percentage of that particular order line item rather, and it is adding them. So if one particular order line item, the profit percentage is 5%, another one is 8%, another one is 21%, we'll add 5%, 8%, 21%, and like that will go on. And obviously, in this manner, the profit percentage will be like this. Now, that's not the right way, because what we are more interested in this case, or what should be depicted over here, is the profit percentage of the average. So let's say if there are three order line items, 5% with a profit percentage of 5%, 8%, and 20%. Ideally, what should be represented here is the it's 5%, the average of 5%, 8%, and 20%. So the first change that we need to do is make this profit percentage not sum, average. So how do we do this? If you click over here, here you see the aggregation. By default, the aggregation is sum. We need to change that to average. Okay. Really nothing much changed here. Why nothing much changed over here? Because some problem lies with the formula. Let us see what the formula is saying. And let us see whether we have understood the formula well enough. If we look at the formula for this, what it is saying is profit divided by sales. So the way Tableau is going to calculate is, Tableau is going to take individual order line items and calculate the profit and sales. So whether we do a sum or we do an average, the result is the same, because the calculation is done at an individual line item. What we really want to figure out is, we want Tableau to take each particular subcategory, and for that subcategory, sum up the sales, sum of the profit, and then divide the sum of the profit with the sum of the sales for that subcategory. That is the profit percentage that we want. So this calculation, even though syntactically correct, will not give us the desired result. We need to change this calculation. We will change this calculation to sum of profit to sum of sales. Now let's see if this gives us the right result. It is syntactically correct. That is evident from here. Now, once we do this, these calculations now go now become incorrect. We have to redo it again. We'll move this away and we'll redo it. So first is we'll take the profit percentage in the size. Notice that now the profit percentage has been changed as an aggregate rather than an average. So it has aggregated the sales and the profit by subcategory, because that's the detail, that's the dimension that has been put in the detail. And once that is done, it is single value, so there is no need to do an average of that. Okay. And to be sure that the calculations are correct, we'll put the profit percentage also in the label. And now you see that these profit percentage have become what it should be. The table is somewhere here. The profit percentage is very low. In fact, it's negative. That's why you can't see the profit percentage of table. It is appearing as a very small dot over here. And copiers seem to have a very high profit percentage. So does paper. Okay, but copier sale is much higher. So we have a nice chart that shows the profit percentages against each of these products, and it provides the relationship between the sales and the profit, and it gets divided by the subcategories. Uh, as usual, let us do the housekeeping. Fit, fit percentage, bubble chart. Do not forget to save your work before you leave.